Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Tuesday, February the 25th, 2020. On today's show, former Gamecocks shortstop and 2010 National Champion Bobby Haney joins me as he does each and every single Tuesday to break down Gamecocks baseball. We talk about South Carolina's series loss, Northwestern. We talk about the midweek and break down the upcoming weekend series against the Clemson Tigers as well. Before we get into everything, this is a podcast brought to you by our friends over at New Ground Hard Nitro Lattes. Guys, I've talked a lot about New Ground. Love the brand, love the product. The drink is absolutely amazing, guys, especially if you're a big coffee drinker like me. They have two flavors, cafe latte and chai latte, which have 5% alcohol. So it's enough to enjoy casually, but also if you're at the tailgate with friends, you're at a party, you're trying to have a good time, whatever it may be, it's perfect for every single occasion. The drinks taste absolutely amazing. It just tastes like a cold coffee drink. I've given them to friends, to family, to peers. They all love the drink, guys. It tastes amazing. You can't even taste the alcohol. Like I said, they taste great. They're actually made with real coffee and tea, natural flavors, real sugar. They're GMO-free, guys. When you taste these, a lot of times you have to sacrifice the taste of a drink for the buzz you're trying to achieve, right? Not with this. It tastes delicious. It'll get you going. You'll love it. I promise you, go try it out. It has naturally occurring caffeine in the cafe latte flavor, or you can go with chai latte if you're a caffeine-free fan, if you're a decaf fan as well. You can find the drinks all over the Southeast, from South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and in these stores like Harris Teeter, Publix, Total Wine, Trader Joe's, Food Lion. Guys, if you can't find it, be sure to ask for it because they are everywhere. These guys are taking over. I'm telling you, New Ground is absolutely amazing. If you want to learn more, be sure to check them out at drinknewground.com. Also, follow them on social media at Drink New Ground. Again, that's New Ground Hard Nitro Lattes, imported from Holland, drinknewground.com. And be sure to follow them on social media at Drink New Ground. The Spurs Up Show is also brought to you by our friends over at Ag South Farm Credit. Guys, most lenders don't understand land financing. Ag South Farm Credit specializes in land financing and has been doing it for over 100 years. They make loans for small and large acreage, hunting property, timberland, farm and pasture land, even home mortgages and construction. They have a lot of great benefits, including long-term fixed-rate financing for 20 years, down payments as low as 15%. They have competitive rates, and they pay an average of 25% of the interest back every year as what they call patronage. Guys, they're a cooperative, so they share in their profits with their member borrowers. So, guys, for example, on a $300,000 loan at 6.5% for 20 years, you would get back $2,770 each year. They have an experienced lending staff that knows land and knows how to finance it. Guys, whether you're buying a house this year, next year, the year after, you're buying your first house, your dream house, a plot of land, whatever it may be, we all know how stressful, strenuous, how tough that situation can be, right? There's a lot of decisions to make. You're spending a lot of money. You want to make sure you have the right people in your corner, those supporting you, the right support system surrounding you, someone there to answer all the questions for you. Ag South Farm Credit is that lender. They're going to be there for you every single step of the way to make sure you're making the right decisions and to make sure you are making the best possible decisions for you specifically. One of the questions they get asked most often, hey, your name has farm credit in it. Are you just for farmers? The question is not at all. Absolutely not. Their mission is to support rural America, and that can include just about anything that involves the purchase of land. So a lot of their customers are those that just want a piece of property outside of the town they can live on. So, guys, you don't have to be a farmer. Anyone can use the services of Ag South Farm Credit. So, guys, if you have any more questions about what Ag South Farm Credit can do, give them a call, 844-AG-SOUTH, or visit their website, agsouthfc.com/TSUS. That's AGSOUTHFC.com/TSUS. Ag South, an equal housing lender, NMLS 619788. So again, guys, agsouthfc.com/TSUS, or give them a call, 844-AG-SOUTH, and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. All right, let's get into it. All right, joining me today as he does each and every single Tuesday, former Gamecock shortstop and 2010 National Champion Bobby Haney. Bobby, appreciate you taking the time as always, my friend. We've got a lot to talk about. It's funny, I was thinking earlier, I don't think either one of us expected to be here talking about a series loss to Northwestern. But that's where we are. Obviously, Gamecocks dropping 2 of 3. You get the big win Saturday, score 12 runs, but Friday and Sunday, losing close games, just not able – in extra innings, both in the 10th inning, you're just not able to pull them out. I want to start with this because I put out a video on social media on Friday after the Friday game because, I knew Bobby after last season. Everybody's coming into this season a little bit fragile. The morale's a little fragile. We had such a bad year last year. I knew at the first sign of trouble, a.k.a. a loss, that the fan base was going to have some sort of negative reaction. It is what it is. But basically my mantra or my message, if you will, was the season is not one game long. It's one of 56. It's a long season. We were talking a little bit off air, the 2010 team you were on, and granted, just to preface for everybody, I'm not comparing this team to the 2010 national champions. That's not what I'm trying to do. But as a baseball player, that 2010 team, you guys early in that season, people forget, you lost 2 of 3 to East Carolina, who was a really good team, much better than Northwestern.
True.
But you lost 2 of 3 to them. You lost 2 of 3 to Clemson, and you guys were able to rebound, come back, obviously run through the SEC, make it all the way to Omaha, win the entire thing. Give people some insight from your perspective as just to, I guess, why the season's not over. I mean, it's still very, very early in the college baseball season.
No, the season's not over at all. Guys, everyone's got to calm down. And like you said, it's not one game. It's also not a big series matters either. If you lose a series, it's not over,
right?
Whether it's Arkansas or –
I mean, you look at this weekend, Auburn got swept by UCF.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's huge. When you text me that and I saw about Auburn, I mean, think about how they're feeling down in Auburn. They expect greatness too. But we gotta find a way to manufacture, runs a little bit differently. We have the pitching staff. We have the defense. I think that's clear, guys. I mean, everybody sees it. Even if we have a couple guys get injured in pitching staff, we'll be fine. And our defense is amazing. But I think, 2010, we learned how to we became a different type of team, maybe manufactured runs. Everyone thinks we lived up the home run, lived up the 3-run home run. It's not that. They did that in the early 2000s and the late, 2007, 8, 9. But 10, 11, we're kind of a new school team, manufacturing runs, moving guys over. The hit and run might play huge this year for Kingston. I mean, I don't know how many times he's going to put it on or if he likes it, but it could be a huge – because the offense is the question.
And there's no question. Like I said, I mean, just to stress again what you're saying is that, it's I want to say it sucks to lose the series. I mean, it's a bad series loss. I mean, you're playing a Big Ten team that, like we joked with Holy Cross, like they haven't been outside probably in a couple months. I mean, they're literally working in an indoor facility, and they come down to your place. And, we were at the game Sunday together, and you were talking like, Northwestern. I mean, that was the one thing I kind of tipped my cap to them. They were fired up. They were fired up all weekend to be there. Like, they really looked forward to the opportunity to come into our place and beat us. I mean, Sunday it's like 60 degrees. They're playing in perfect weather. And I'm not saying, they were more excited to play than we were or anything, but you have to give those guys a little bit of credit. I mean, they were fired up to come in and play. You talked about the hitting, though, and that's the thing with this team that, listen, pitching and hitting were both problems last year. There's no question about that. But coming into the season, that was the thing, even from watching the scrimmages, that was the bigger question mark to me because, like I said, after Holy Cross and after PC on Wednesday, you can't necessarily draw any conclusions from those games. But with pitching, I think it's a lot easier to tell because stuff is stuff. When you have good stuff, you just do. You either do or you don't. With hitting, it's much more complex. And obviously, you're a guy that knows the ins and outs in hitting. You teach it. With this team, we talked a little bit. The one thing I was disappointed with is, not using the hit and run enough, not stealing as much. I know Northwestern, again, was a better team, but not putting guys in motion, not making – how many times yesterday I say, just drop a bunt down? Why not? I mean, again, a guy like Noah Campbell had a 3-run homer, but we're talking about Brady Allen, a guy who has speed. Like, get on base. When you're hitting 250, what's the harm in trying to get on base? And if they're playing even or behind the bag, why not try to drop one down? But the timely hitting, just not there. I mean, I'll ask you about timely hitting. I mean, that's not something you can really teach, right? I mean, you can teach the mechanics of hitting and how to attack in different counts and how to attack different pitchers, but the clutch, like, I just don't feel like that's something you can really teach a guy to do. You're either going to come through or you're not.
Yeah, it's what you want to be pumped up in that situation and be excited to be in that situation. No doubt in your mind that I'm going to come through, and even if I don't get the job done, I want to do it again. Derek Jeter talked about that, being over 5 and wanting to get up for that 6th at bat. But yeah, something you can't really teach. I mean, just got to be, dripping with confidence throughout those situations. But
yeah. I mean, I do want to talk about one guy really quickly because he was somebody that I said nobody needs to get off to a better start than him, and that is Noah Campbell. I mean, 3-run homer on Sunday, went 4 for 11 this weekend. He was almost my series MVP if Wes Clark didn't have his monster day on Saturday. But what are you seeing from Noah? I mean, it's crazy because, I heard you talking to somebody else yesterday, and it's like, if you go 0 for 7 and there's 6 weak ground balls and a strikeout, like you're getting probably moved down the lineup or pulled. But if you go 0 for 7 and there are 7 liners, you're staying where you are. Well, Noah Campbell, he's not going 0 for 7. Like I said, went 4 for 11 on the weekend, but it's like every out at this point for him, or most of them, are hard hit line drives at the outfield. I mean, do you think it's simply just a confidence thing? Because I think he's always had the talent. I mean, you go to the Cape Cod and do what he did. You have to have the ability, but do you think it's just a confidence thing, or are you seeing anything different from his approach, swing?
I think it's confidence, dude. Just being here for his 3rd year, right?
Right.
3 years here. I mean, got the Cape Cod thing. He looks stronger. He looks bigger and stronger. He looked pretty good in the outfield too, as well. But now he's got that. That confidence going into the Clemson series where he's not hitting 180, 190. Sometimes like guys are, because Kingston said it last year. Noah getting off to a slow start all the time, right? Every year. I was one of those guys, not to compare us.
Yeah, Cortez used to be. I think Destino kind of was
Mark
for a little bit.
Was always one of those guys.
There's some guys that they
just
till
May.
They just get off to slow starts or whatever.
Always bats are behind a little bit, but now he's got some confidence. Hitting in the 3s or the 4s, wherever he's hitting. But yeah, he's got to be a leader. He's got to be one of those guys who leads. But we talked about it before. I want to see more from Brady Allen. I want to see different types of Brady Allen. A more mature Brady Allen where he's not, looking to go deep for a 2-run, 3-run bomb. Maybe, little backside, little middle. But, yeah.
And I will say that, again, not making excuses, but this weekend, I mean, it felt like – it was weird. It felt like one of those weekends, like we had a lot of hard hit balls that were just right at guys. I mean, Friday, countless times. You had Andrew Eister catch at the wall that probably on any other night when it's not 35 degrees and the wind blowing in. That's a home run. Sunday even, a lot of hard hit balls. I mean, I'll ask you from the hitter perspective. I don't – because, I mean, those are good at bats. Like, you're not going to come back in the dugout if you line out to center and the coach is going to chastise. Like, that's a good swing, good at bat. Like, how do you stay positive in those moments when they might not be falling? Because we know baseball's a fickle game. You'll line out 3 times and your 4th at bat, you'll hit a Texas leaguer for a single. I mean, how do you – but as a hitter, though – how do you stay positive through those times where you're just lacing the ball and they're just not dropping for you?
When I'm going towards center field, when I'm going back with the middle, that's where I'm feeling my most confident. I think every hitter will attest to that. Right. Campbell did it so many times. That's why the fans got to calm down a little bit. We had about 4 lineouts yesterday or 5 lineouts yesterday. Center field, right center. Yeah. I think Bieber hit a couple hard ground balls to short. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a mind game. You're playing with yourself. You're like, all right. You can't think that the world is against you when you're playing baseball because it's so much bad luck that happens. Like you said, you're 0 for 4 with 4 or even 3 lineouts, and you just got to tell yourself, hey, it's going to fall. It's going to fall. It's going to even out. That's what we say in baseball. It's going to even out, and you just can't. You just got to move on. There's so many games. There's so many at-bats. That's why when someone says there's the baseball season is going to be a long season, it's like, come on, guys. It's not football. You lose 2 games in football.
The season's basically over. Like your goals are out of reach.
It's not football. It's baseball. Come on, you guys know. You guys know there's guys hitting $140 at the All-Star break in the major leagues, and they end up hitting 280. Like, it's serious. It's serious stuff. And the same thing happens in college too. But yeah, we had a couple lineouts. Could have fell a little bit, but I think this weekend it seems like Clemson's got some decent pitching, and I think if we hit well, it'll tell you a little bit about what we are.
Yeah, I want to backtrack a little bit, though. We were just, when we were talking about the how you guys went through adversity in 2010, losing those early series and, again, losing 2 or 3 to ECU. You lose 2 or 3 to Clemson and get beat, 19 to – not to bring up horrible memories, the White Hats. Ethan Carter talked about on the show, never forget the White Hats. But did you – because, again, the expectations at South Carolina, and that's one of the reasons we all love South Carolina baseball is because there's expectations of greatness and excellence and winning. Did you guys – I know, you block out the noise, and social media wasn't quite as big in 2010 as it is now. But did you guys feel the heat? And I guess what was the message in the locker room to keep things positive and kind of just keep going?
There's a lot of stuff I could say.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that Tanner said that you can't say on the airwaves. But
just getting off the bus at ECU, just walking into the Lions Den again, I hate that place.
That was after 2009 when y'all lost the regional. Yeah, that's right.
So you're walking in, you're like, I don't know if we took Friday game or Thursday game.
Right.
I don't know. We might have took game 1. But remember, my boy Ebert wasn't playing due to something. I forgot exactly. I don't want to say too much of what happened, but Not sure exactly what happened. I think it was more, like me, might be grade wise, but Walker wasn't really a starter yet.
Right.
Walker was
that was very early in.
So Walker was like 2 for 10 or 1 for 13 with maybe a double and a couple RBIs, and Ebert was playing or wasn't playing or something. So, but anyway, we got 2 out of 3.
Right.
We got beat 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they took the series, and we got back to the locker room, and Coach Tanner, just like now with the offense, Coach Tanner said it was Sunday night, so we're all like, dude, let's get home, let's get to bed. We got class tomorrow.
Right.
And Coach Tanner said, pitchers leave, hitters stay. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to get into it really.
Right.
That's for another podcast maybe. But you just got to change things up. And then it was Clemson the next weekend.
I think it was probably the next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, Clemson next weekend, and then we're like, all right, we'll take Friday night, Coop dealt, and on Saturday, it just bad luck at Floor Field. And Sunday was an absolute atrocious. We got smacked, but. SEC play started. We started pitching well. We always pitch well, and then our hitters started clicking a little more. Witt and Marzilli and all those guys and Jackie. They started getting everything going.
But you just have to stay positive through it. I mean, you just have to, right? I mean, and no player. I mean, again, this is not trying to call out the fans or anything like that, because again, it's kind of funny, Bobby, in a twisted sense of it just a weird spin zone for me. I kind of like it because at least it lets me know again there is an expectation of excellence. So like I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's also you can be upset and realize how long of a season this is.
So
Understand
long.
there's
Baseball.
so many games to play.
It's baseball, man. It's going to be the longest season ever. But how about looking at it like this? If you don't, not that if you don't win the midweek in the easy series that we just played, but you could take advantage of the SEC if you do decent. That's what we did.
Right.
We didn't play great versus ECU. we lost versus Clemson. Lost versus ECU. I think we played some Ivy League schools and beat the heck out of them. But we took advantage of the SEC on Friday and Saturday, and then whatever happened Sunday happened. But have an opportunity to say, hey, we can get stuff done in the SEC. We got the pitching staff.
Right.
We need those timely hits.
Yeah, and let's talk about the pitching a little bit too, because I obviously don't want to leave them out. So I want to start with the bad news, and we'll talk about the good news. Obviously, a lot of fans on social media and just people watching those games, put these losses on the bullpen. You have Danny Lloyd come in, Friday and Sunday, both go to the 10th inning. You have some late inning walks that lead to a run. And, I was talking to you Sunday afternoon. I mean, my least favorite thing are leadoff walks and 2-out walks. I should have added a third, and that is bases loaded walks. You cannot walk in a run. You just can't do it in that situation.
Right.
But when you look at those guys, again, I understand the frustration with those guys, but I still, for what, maybe this is blind faith, but I still feel really good about those guys. I mean, you look at just, again, pure stuff, 95, 96, the sliders at 87, 88. Like, both those guys have big-time stuff. I think they're going to be fine in the 8th and 9th inning role. I will say, again, I said this on social media, on Sunday, when you're up 3-2 going to the 7th, do you need to hit more? I 110% think you need to hit more, but you got to close that out.
Yep.
Your pins, I mean, you got, again, on that 2010 team you were on, when you had Matt Price at the back end, you have John Taylor, Jose Mata. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but when you have it needs to be that type of shutdown. Like when you get the 7th with a lead, it's over.
Right.
Game's over. So, and overall, we talked a little bit about this on air or off air, Bobby, but I think the reason I'm still really optimistic about this team, because if the hitting comes around, this team has the pitching and defense to beat anybody, in my opinion. So, I mean, when you look at the pitching staff, again, just your overall takes on the weekend of the pitching, again, some things you absolutely can't do, some things that we saw that were positive. I mean, it was kind of a mixed bag for the pitching staff this weekend, I felt like.
Yeah, just kind of paint the corners a little more. I saw a lot of off-speed, too, yesterday, which I didn't really saw a lot of off-speed in the dirt.
Yeah, and that's something that I know Graham, especially, like talking about the Sunday game, that's Graham especially, and Kingston said it before, that his biggest thing is just locating the breaking ball. I mean, he's having some trouble right now, and he's a guy coming off an arm injury. So I mean, it's kind of, you kind of expect some inconsistency a little bit, but like you just gotta be better. I mean, it's just no other way to put it.
Yeah, I think they don't have John Taylor and then Matt Price though 7, 8, 9.
Right.
They don't have that yet. They're trying to figure out. Is
build
Lloyd what's Farr going to do? Is he going to stay a midweek guy, or is he going to come in the 8th and throw 97, 96?
Good point.
Cam's in the mix, obviously, but they're still figuring a couple things out. Harley went down, obviously, as well, so they got no lefties. So it gets all righties. But Yeah, the bullpen's always a problem throughout the season. Major leagues too. They're just trying to figure out their identity after the 6th or after the 7th. I think Carmen's gonna always go 6 or 7, and then you just got to figure out 8, 9. I've got our closer, but who's gonna be that bridge guy that's almost as dominating as our closer, which we have. We got arms in there, but we got plenty of arms. So it's like a big tryout before the SEC. Who's gonna be that 7, 8 guy, setting up for our closer, but yeah, we'll be fine. I'm excited about the pitching staff. I saw a lot of good stuff. I saw 95, 96 consistency. But like I said, need to see. I can't see 3 or 4 breaking balls in the dirt with guys on second base. That gives the guy third base. Sac fly scores him. Dribbler scores him. Another pass ball scored him. Yeah, that was part of the game yesterday. That
was Sunday was the game where I saw a lot of we just did a lot of little things wrong. Good baseball teams
challenge them with heat. Yeah, I saw a couple guys hit the 92, 93, challenge them with your 94, 95. Who cares?
Yeah.
With your best pitch. I think that is our best pitch.
Right.
With some of our guys.
Especially early in the season when the pitching's ahead of the hitting.
And they're coming from Chicago.
Yeah. They haven't seen the type of stuff our guys have.
They're not. So I feel like we could have challenged them a little bit more with the fastball in the late innings. Even up, they were swinging up a little bit at their chest. So, I mean, curveballs in the dirt, those got to be either blocked or you got to shut it down.
Right.
With guys on base.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think early in the season, you're still trying to establish those roles. And you ask any baseball coach, I mean, you with your teams, just you want to find guys that when you show up to the park, exactly what they're going to give you every single day. That consistency. Yep. That's how you earn those roles. Like as a closer, as a 4-hole hitter, like be the same guy every single day. Be the same guy every time out, whether you have a good day or a bad day. Be the same exact dude every time you show up to the ball field. Again, that's how you get in those roles. That's how you earn it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you earn it. So I want to talk to you a little bit again because I'm excited as far as like you just look at the starting rotation. Carmen's the real deal.
Yep.
Brett Carey, I thought Saturday didn't necessarily have his best stuff, but 6 innings, 3 earned runs. If that's not having your best stuff, I'll take that every time of the week, every day of the week. And then Brandon Jordan, I thought he wasn't as sharp as he was that first start. But you bring up an interesting point. Thomas Farr, he's got to factor in somewhere. I'm sure he's going to start tomorrow or today against North Florida.
Right.
He's got to pitch on the weekend. I mean, again, when you're throwing 94, 95, 96, and you're locating the breaking ball, I mean, he was extremely sharp. Granted, he pitched against PC. I'm not trying to blow that up, but that type of stuff, I mean, you got to give that guy a chance in your bullpen. But
in the 8th inning maybe.
Yeah, and then maybe in the 8th inning, 7th inning, something. But I love what I saw from Carmen. I love what I saw from the starting rotation in general. I want to talk to you about the defense because, again, for whatever reason, I don't give the defense enough love. But it was another great weekend. And I just continue to be so impressed by the South Carolina infield. Yeah. I mean, just the amount of plays they're making, and it's not just the easy plays, it's the difficult plays. I mean, you were there on Sunday. You watched George Khalil, your boy, getting after. Jeff Heinrichs making bare hand play after bare hand play. Braylon Wimmer, for a true freshman, is playing that position beautifully. I mean, what do you, just as a guy yourself who pride yourself on defense, what are you seeing from the infield?
Yeah, it's not. Oh, I think it's sexy to me, but it's not sexy to the fan base. Or just like the NFL. I mean, defense is kind of whatever. I mean, it's important.
You want to see points and the flashiness, but the defense kind of gets lost. It gets forgotten, but it's so important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like Noah Campbell, his thing is going to be hitting down the road and stealing bases, which is awesome. But yeah, no, defense is important. George made some great plays. Third base, unbelievable plays. We had a bare hand play. It's hard to do when you're not playing because Malone's been out.
Yeah,
so you get tossed in there and you're making a bare hand play. So tough. Keeps us in the game. The catch in right field. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Iser's catch. Yeah,
that was the exciting. That was the most excitement. What happened yesterday? Because we didn't have a lot of offense to cheer about except for Noah, but that was unbelievable. And then of course get into Georgie and he does the throw on the run to first base, nice and easy, double play.
Just easy.
Yeah,
he makes the difficult. I think people watch that and they think that's not an easy play. He makes it look easy. Such
a draftable defense guy. And if he hits a little bit, maybe you could even move him to third too because he's such a big guy. But exciting about the defense. It's going to keep us in the games. It's a little intimidating in the SEC if we got good defensive pitching. But just the offensive question mark. I think Coach Kings is going to have to get a little bit creative. I don't think we have that guy. I mean, even Barry Hill was huge during the Clemson.
I mean, Wes Clark, had a one day, but yeah, I mean, it's one game. So
yeah, I don't want to rely on those, those 2 or 3 guys. We gotta, manufacture, 1 through 7, 1 through 8, 1 through 9, whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, this week.
Yeah, I mean, talking about this week and even moving forward, I do want to bring this up, Bobby, is that with this team. and just to give Gamecock fans, just inject some optimism, at least coming from me and maybe from you. But, like, I'm still very optimistic about this team and what this season can become because of the pitching and the defense. You can win a lot of games with great pitching and great defense if the hitting can just come around. Because you take a look right now. As a team, this team's hitting 278. Over this past weekend, it was probably much worse because you crushed through the first 4 games. But if you could just stay at 278, if you could hit 278 for the season with the pitching and defense you have, I think you're going to win a lot of baseball games. Yeah. And, I mean, again, you look at last season, I know the hitting was a major concern. I mean, Sunday you had 12 strikeouts. It just can't happen. Can't happen against guys throwing 91, 92. You had 12 strikeouts. And, I know Kingston said in his postgame they're averaging about 6 or 7 a game, which is not a concern for him right now. That's
double digits.
You want to right. And again, Sunday was it reminded us a lot of what we saw last year. I think that's why a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, here we go again." But I still feel very optimistic about this team because, again, you have we got the arms this year. It's not like last year where you just were undermanned and didn't have the dudes, and you're asking freshmen to do stuff they're just not ready to do. You have the arms. You're phenomenal on defense, in my opinion. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever. If the hitting can come around, and hopefully it does this weekend against Clemson, this team, I think, can be really good. I really believe that. Yeah,
just need to find out who we are as an offensive team.
We need to have an identity, and isn't it weird that every South Carolina team, whether it's no matter the sport, I feel like that's what we're talking about is the offensive identity.
Being mature, and it's all that's Kingston's cup of tea right there.
I think it's a lot of guys in our lineup realizing, like, man, as a player, you have to understand this is my strength, this is my weakness. Let me play to my strength. Don't try to be a home run guy if I'm not. Yeah, I know the bomb is sexy, chicks dig the long ball, the whole 9 yards, but know who you are.
It's so underrated what Kingston said about missing fastballs. Fouling them off is missing a fastball. That's what missing is if people don't know what that means. It's not just swinging through them.
Right. And it's like I was talking to you on Sunday, and I won't name the player specifically, but, there's a guy and a couple of guys in South Carolina's lineup where you're like, they're just this close. They're just missing. At some point, you're just a guy that misses. I mean, it's you can't keep saying –
it means you're an 8-hole hitter.
Right. You can't just keep missing. Eventually, you got to connect. I mean, you just have to.
Yeah, like I missed a bunch of fastballs. That's why I'm under 300.
Right.
So if you can't – you got to capitalize. Like, Campbell's a guy that doesn't miss fastballs. If it's
not this season, absolutely.
If it's 90, 91, Cape Cod, and during this beginning of the season, he's squaring them up. He should be hitting 50 points higher, obviously. But yeah, you can't miss your fastballs. But a lot of off-speed pitches those guys were throwing in the 70s just to keep our hitters off balance, and that's not an excuse either. I mean, we got to be ready for that junk and that garbage from their lefties.
And it's like you said, you're seeing a lot of guys get around the baseball, not stay, especially on the off. I mean. Granted, I know these guys were, give Northwestern's pitchers credit again. Their stuff was not bad, but
with strikes too.
Throwing strikes. But I mean, bro, you're going to see Kumar Rocker and Emerson Hancock, and you're going to see like legitimate arms with nasty breaking balls and ridiculous fastballs in SEC play. So like, you better figure this stuff out quickly.
Change your approach. Change the mindset in your brain. What you're going to do at the plate. I'm still saying, middle of the field. Most of these guys stay up the middle, stay backside. Even the big guy, Eister, stay in middle backside.
And that you were talking about when you were at your best when you're going up the middle. With Eister and a couple guys are like he's at his best when he's right center gap. When he's right center gap, everything is flowing.
Yeah, so that's more think middle away, but react inside.
Yeah, your hands at this level should be good enough to get the inside pitch.
Hips, hands inside, but I'm looking pitchers, over the pitcher's head, center field, but. Yeah, we just gotta find out who we are, the identity thing. But I'm sure Coach Kingston's in there today, man. He'll be in there today and tomorrow with that machine, cranking it up, talking to the players about the philosophy and what we need to do to be successful. Because it's nice to have a pitching staff that can go out there and you don't have to worry too much. Skylar's got his his boys ready to go. But yeah, the hitting just little tweaks here and there.
Yeah. So I mean, we're talking. Obviously, it's Tuesday, game day against North Florida at Founders Park, and we were both saying, fingers crossed, you get this game in. I know there's some bad weather in the forecast because obviously you'd like to, you assume you'd like to get a dub, get some confidence back going in the Clemson series. I mean, I guess you kind of just said it, but in your mind against North Florida, you just want to see some tweaks, just kind of guys reset, get back to staying up the middle right side. And again, because you want to develop some confidence going into that Clemson series this weekend.
Yeah, how about the walks too with George getting hit by 2 pitches too? Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah,
that's
just get on base. Just get on base.
That was kind of Wingo's deal in the 2010 in the middle of that season. You're like, oh, he got hit again. Get on the plate. Don't worry about that stupid call being overturned or whatever. But get on the plate. Make an adjustment. Don't be scared of Kumar Rocker or whoever's on Clemson as well coming inside. Got to find a way to get on base. I know you talk about the average, but I think Kinks is more of an analytical guy where he's not concerned about the average, but he's studying that OBP.
Right.
He's like, who's getting on base? What's going on here? If George is getting on base, even though he's not getting hits, got to move him up in the lineup.
Right.
Who's that guy who's moving the lineup?
Yeah, for sure. So before we wrap up, I do want to ask you again. I mean, I'm fired up. I know you're fired up because it is Carolina Clemson week. I mean, this weekend you got South Carolina Clemson, and obviously next week's show we're going to break the entire series down, but I want to ask you, because I know it's different now. You're on the outside looking in, but as a player, again, you don't look past the game you have tonight against North Florida. You don't look past the midweek, but what is it like being a player this week, knowing what looms ahead on the weekend? Like, is it in the back of your mind? Like, I know, because again, I feel like this week just has a little more juice to it than this time last week.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Going into Clemson is fun too. A little scary, but a little intimidating, but if you got that mindset of, people, you got to love that people hate you or acting like they hate you. Same thing in football too, but you're just pumped up, man. You're pumped up to play Friday night at their place. I think are we going to their place?
So yeah, we're going. So no, it's Founders Park Friday, Segra Park Saturday, and then Sunday's at Clemson. Yeah, so Sunday 2 in Columbia this year. So
yeah, I think the coolest thing though is Ford Fields, or this year it'll be Firefly Stadium, to where half the stadium will be garnet, half the stadium will be orange. Yeah. That's just the coolest feeling. And
you're playing in an awesome venue.
Yeah, people are getting along. It's not like there's brawls breaking out. Obviously, it's not that crazy, but it's just cool to have a community and have a state to where it's divided. Even some families will be wearing opposite clothes. But no, it's fun. It's special. It's you're playing for the fans, you're playing for the community, playing for your university, and it's really important to bring that series back home.
Yeah, I know there was a quiet swagger with you guys, but how much more chirping was there as far as like the Carolina Clemson? I mean, do you remember like noticeably like there being a lot? Because I mean, again, you were an out of state guy, but you learned quickly. But like you said, guys like Wingo, guys like Roth, those guys took that very personally.
Those guys are from up there, so. Yeah, I think you hear from the student section too. There'll be a couple more students this week showing up, coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
especially Friday night here.
Oh, right fielder, I feel bad for him.
I want to see some. Yeah, I want to hear. I want to see. I'm
gonna do some research by the way after this and look up the Clemson right fielder and try to get his girlfriend's name, his mates, everything. You have to.
Oh, Arkansas had my parents' names down and Adam Matthews.
I was gonna say Mississippi State this past weekend. I don't know who they were playing, but the left fielder. Somebody printed out a big picture of his girlfriend from Instagram. I'm just like, come on, guys. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, take it a little far. But no, it's awesome. It's great. But not that we're talking so much as the players, but the fans. The fans are like, oh,
and I feel like that bleeds into like, just the energy that everybody has. I mean, it's
and it's more important for us too, Carolina, because Clemson's obviously had our number 6 seasons in a row in football, or 7, and they've been winning national championships.
Right.
So it's a little something we could dig into their side and be like, yeah, you guys can whoop us on the gridiron, but on the diamond, we got your number.
Right.
So it's just a little fun to have.
For sure. Yeah. Well, Bobby, always a pleasure, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm obviously we're all looking forward to this weekend, and we'll all break it all down. But appreciate it as always, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Perfect. So for Bobby Haney, I'm Chris Phillips. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on the episode of